This is my journey.
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 This is my journey with jazz.
Welcome to Clearwater Jazz Holidays, my journey with jazz programs. We went on a journey and learned about people, places, and music that played an important part in the history of jazz. The first stop was the great city of New Orleans. New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz. Some of the people we learned about were Louis Armstrong, Jelly Roll Morton, and Buddy Bolden. Some of the places we learned about are Treme, Preservation Hall, and a crazy place called Storyville. Some of the music that we listened to was When the Saints Go Marching In, Struttin' with Some Barbecue, and Second Line. New Orleans is famous for its second line tradition. Second line is a tradition in brass band parades. Second line parades are part of the city's culture. They have roots in the city's jazz funerals, and they are usually held by clubs and organizations. Some have long histories. You can really see the second line tradition in the African American neighborhoods of Treme and Central City, but you can also see the traditions in other neighborhoods too.
For our next stop, we traveled to the swing era. The swing era was in the 1930s and 1940s. Big bands and band leaders became very popular, and people loved to dance and swing to the music. People we learned about were Benny Goodman, Count Basie, Duke Ellington, and Lester Young. We listened to songs like Take the A Train, Shiny Stockings, Sing Sing Sing, and Stomping at the Savoy.
Important places we learned about were Chicago and Washington, D.C. We also learned about clubs like the Savoy and the Cotton Club. The Cotton Club was a New York City nightclub. It was the most popular venue in New York City for live music and especially jazz. The Cotton Club was first in Harlem. The most popular black musicians played there, including Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, and Count Basie. Next, we learned about a style of music called bebop. Bebop was a form of jazz. It was fast and complex. It also had unusual harmonies.
We listened to songs like So What, A Night in Tunisia, Well You Needn't, and Billy's Bounce. We learned about important people with funny names, like Dizzy Gillespie and Thelonious Monk. We learned about some of the great players like Miles Davis and Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker was also called Yardbird and Bird. He was an American jazz musician and important to the bebop style of jazz. Charlie Parker was a master on the saxophone. Charlie Parker was also an important composer.
For our last stop, we got to meet some musicians born in other parts of the world. They taught us that even though jazz is an American art form, the music was influenced by other people from all around the world. This made the music even more special. We learned about musicians from other countries and cultures that influenced jazz music. We learned about music and people from Africa, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Brazil. We learned about the queen of African jazz, Miriam Makeba. We also learned about Juan Tizol, who played in the Duke Ellington Orchestra.
We also learned about a Brazilian named Tom Jobim. Tom Jobim introduced the bossa nova type of music to jazz. We also learned about a Cuban piano player and a band leader named Chucho Valdez. Some songs we heard were Grazing in the Grass, Caravan, The Girl from Ipanema, and Oye Como Va. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Clearwater Jazz Holiday.
My journey with jazz. Yeah, baby.